When I think of a utopian or dystopian story, I think of examples like Hunger Games, Divergent, Elysium. And to me, these stories really only have one purpose, and that's to serve as a cautionary tale. And all of these stories are parallels to the society of whenever they were written. And, it really makes the reader and the viewer ask questions. And I myself am a big movie fan. And to me, there's nothing better than when you're watching a movie and you make a realization of what it is it's actually talking about, or at least what you interpret it to be. And that made me ask, what do we think the issues are with our generation when there isn't a story or something right in front of us telling us what they are? What do we think our problems are? And so I went around campus asking people these two questions. What do you think is the biggest issue in our generation, and what are you doing about it? What do you guys think is the biggest issue in our generation?
Our generation?
Jeez, biggest issue. Quick question, can you give us like 30 seconds and then restart?
Yeah. Evidently, it wasn't a very easy question to answer right off the bat. Once people did get an answer, it was also pretty interesting. Alright, Alec. What do you think the biggest issue is in our generation?
People get offended too easily.
Biggest issue in our generation, I'll go for drugs, I'll go for social inawareness.
Complacency.
Poverty.
We're too greedy. I think I'm gonna say like maybe political apathy.
I think a lot of us are ignorant. A lot of us are sheltered.
We're like close-minded.
And while there were a few deep thinkers, few and far between, the most common result was actually pretty clear.
I would say maybe our addiction to social media.
Spend too much time on technology.
Obsession with technology.
Oh, technology. Don't get me started. A reliance on technology and social media.
Relying on technology.
I have a lot of issues with technology.
Social media and let me phones. I want to be in it.
Phones. I'm in your gosh.
Technology that we have through Facebook.
Probably cell phone.
Yeah, too much technology. That's huge. It's kind of taken over.
There's a saying I've heard once or twice that goes a little like this. If knowledge was based on the majority opinion, then the world would still be flat. The reason I'm saying this is that the majority of people said that the biggest issue in our generation is technology or social media. And while I don't necessarily not agree with them, it's the answers to my second question that gave me the greatest pause. What are you doing personally to make sure you don't encounter these issues?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat.
That means you're feeding it.
I'm not doing anything actually.
Nothing. I am completely
I'm
adding to the problem. I guess I just don't.
Having every social media there is.
I just don't know how to not do that.
Going into this project, I thought I had a pretty good idea what our generation's biggest issue was. I thought our generation's biggest issue was a lack of ambition, a lack of drive to do anything. And what I found is that the biggest issue in our generation isn't that of us not having enough ambition or overusing social media and technology. The biggest issue isn't poverty or class warfare. It's simply that we don't care. There are real issues going on right now, like, for instance, the riots in Baltimore or the earthquakes in Nepal, where people are seriously in danger. And because it isn't directly affecting us, we simply don't care. I feel that our generation's biggest issue is that we don't care enough to look more than 10 feet in front of us. If there's one thing I want you to take from this project, it's that I want you not to stay overly informed, to go on news sites every single hour on the hour and find out the latest issues. Nothing of that sort. It's just stay generally informed of what's going on in our world. Put a little thought into it and care about it a little bit. Because these issues, these very real issues, are never going to be solved if we always think, oh, somebody else will fix it maybe tomorrow. It's us. As corny as it is, we are the future. And the more we care, even if in the slightest bit, the moment one of us gets into a position of power and they even care a little bit, they can make a change. And I think that's what we need to do.